Yo, what is up guys, Grim here, and in today's video we're going to be diving into the brand new Echoes of the Atlas expansion. So in this video we're going to be covering the brand new features, of course, but we're also going to be getting into how they work and how they're going to impact your normal gameplay in the new X-Pack. In addition to that, we're also going to get into a bit of min-maxing so that you guys can get a head start on the game next week. So without further ado, let's get straight into it. So the new features, what can we expect from the new expansion? Well, we have a ton of new content, which we've been looking for a long time. They're finally tackling player agency over what content they want to run. You want to run Delve? You now have the tools. What are these tools? Well, they come in the form of new Atlas Ascendancies. We can take a look at some of them here on the promotional page. You can see that there's tons of cool nodes, and each of these correspond to different league mechanics from PoE's past. Stuff like Breach, Delve, Harvest, all of those things will be present on the Atlas Ascendancy trees, which are pretty cool. These nodes are very, very powerful. They have a very high kind of power ceiling. They definitely weren't pulling any punches when they were designing these, and we'll definitely be going over these in detail in other videos. So very, very cool. Now, how do you unlock these Ascendancy passives, and what else can we expect? Well, they're also introducing a new sort of kind of side boss arena kind of content, which features a new endgame boss, and that boss is the Maven. So the Maven is a new penultimate kind of boss or ultimate boss. She's said to be on the level or around the level of Uber Elder and Cyrus 8, so you can expect to need 20 million DPS or at least 10 million DPS to get through her comfortably. So it's kind of like at that upper end of kind of PoE characters to defeat her comfortably. So definitely pretty exciting. Well, she's all the way at the end. What can other players expect when progressing their Atlas, and how do you start unlocking these Ascendancy points? Well, when you get into your Atlas, you will be greeted by a new NPC called the Envoy, who is affiliated with the Maven. So the Maven's goal is to witness you slay map bosses in her new boss arena, which has been introduced, and I'm sure you saw in the video there, this one here. Every time you do a map boss or a map, you have the option to activate the Maven's beacon, this button here on the map dice. This will appear after you first encounter the Envoy, and activating it will trigger the Maven in that map. And when the Maven's in that map, she will empower the map boss, making it much more difficult. The example in the trailer was that we had 2 map bosses to fight at once, but I'm sure there'll be plenty of other different encounters to fight. But this will allow you to capture that map boss and transport it to the Maven's arena. Now, initially, when you have 3 of these in any one of the Atlas zones, so it has to be in one Atlas zone, it can't be in a number of Atlas zones. So for example, you'll need to capture 3 Maven bosses in, for example, Greenwich Cairns or Lex Proxima. Then you will be able to trigger the Maven's arena. And what this is essentially, as you saw probably in the trailer video, a fight between all 3 of those bosses at once. Now, if you manage to defeat them, you will earn 2 points for your Atlas Ascendancy tree. So for example, if you wanted to put some points into, for example, this Legion one here, Monumental, you could then do that after defeating those 3 bosses in Greenwich Cairns, which is pretty good. And you'd get areas have 10% additional chance to contain a Legion encounter, which essentially doubles the amount of Legion pylons you'll be encountering naturally in maps, which is incredibly powerful. Now, moving on, what can you do to get more of these Ascendancy points? Because obviously they're so incredible. Well, you can do the thing again. So let's say you wanted to get another 2 talent points in Greenwich Cairns. Well, same process. All you have to do is activate this again a few more times, but this time instead of 3, you'll need to do 4. And then obviously at the end, you won't be fighting 3 bosses at once, you'll be doing 4 bosses at once. And then that'll award you another 2 points in the Ascendancy tree, and you'll continue on this kind of trajectory for a little bit. It goes 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 10 at once. And that'll give you a total of 10 Atlas Ascendancy points to invest in your tree as you see fit. Now, these Ascendancy trees are incredibly varied, and there is tons of different options. I've started off a little spreadsheet here, but across the entire Atlas, you'll notice that most of the most popular leagues are featured and have multiple different Ascendancy choices. So you can see that Breach has a bunch of different notables here. Stuff like increased Breach AoE, density, chance to drop full Breach stones, more Breach bosses, incredible nodes. But a lot of the major leagues don't just feature on one area of the Atlas. They actually feature on multiple. So you can see that Lex Proxima has Breach, but so does Lyra Arthane. Now, Lyra Arthane, in fact, has different notables than Lex Proxima. So it won't have the same kind of talent tree as Lex Proxima will. It'll have different things. So maybe there's one which gives you a higher chance to get Chayula Breach Stones or something like that in your breaches. So there's going to be an incredible amount of diversity in the new Atlas, and you're going to really be able to mix and match kind of what you want from each league mechanic or even whatever league you want to your playstyle. And it's very, very exciting to have so many options open to us. And even within the leagues themselves, you're going to get multiple decisions to make. So if you want to farm bestiary, it's not just pick the bestiary region on the Atlas. You'll have to choose between Turn's End, and you'll have to choose between Lyra Arthane. And because you get so many Ascendancy points, you will in fact actually be able to spec into multiple of these leagues at once, which is incredibly exciting indeed. So now that we understand the Maven, how do you get to fight her? Well, once you get to that 10 point and you're kind of fighting at the 10 point, 10 bosses at once, you will then have an opportunity to battle her yourself, which is incredibly cool. Now, when you're doing this, you're going to have to cycle through the 10 a number of times according to Grinding Gear Games to actually get to fight her. You can see here, this is the kind of interface we're expecting. You can see that we're on Valdo's Rest here. It's a fully maxed out Maven area, and it has 10 blocks similar to the kind of the Conqueror kind of bars that you'll have to fill up to be able to get into the Maven's area and have a chance to maybe battle her herself, or at least get some more extra Maven exclusive loot. So Maven exclusive loot, what can we expect? Well, there is a number of things the Maven herself can drop, apart from awarding Ascendancy points, which are very, very nice. Once you've capped those out, why will you continue to farm her? Well, she does indeed drop a new item. She drops platinum, titanium, and chromium watchstones. So these watchstones are essentially super-powered watchstones. You can craft on them, and the modifiers they have on them are completely insane. You can have up to 4 of these new watchstones in each area of the Atlas. There's no cap on them, so you could have a fully alternate watchstone Atlas if you wanted, or with these interesting new modifiers on them. So these modifiers, let's take a look at one of them here at least. So Legion encounters in areas have 23% increased chance to be a Maraketh army. Imagine if you had 4 of them. That's 100% increased chance to be Maraketh in your Legion encounters. Stacking this with the actual Legion, the Legion Ascendancies on the Atlas will be incredibly powerful. You're essentially doubling the chance to encounter Maraketh on top of all of the other insane Atlas bonuses that you're getting as well. So the actual customization and the kind of the juice, if you will, from this expansion is going to be at unprecedented levels. So really, really incredible. In addition to that, the Maven also drops a new endgame currency item similar to the Awakener Orb, if not a little bit more powerful than that. It allows you to upgrade influence mods. So for example, the explosion modifier, or +1 power charge, +1 skill gems, etc. on these very powerful influence bases to a higher level. In the trailer, they gave us an example of a % intellect modifier being upgraded to also give not only the intellect, but a +1 to all intellect gems. Which was incredibly powerful indeed. So a lot of people will be churning through these Maven's orbs, and I expect them to be worth many, many exalts, probably in the range of 3 or 4 exalts per one. So farming the Maven will award you these new watchstones, which you'll want and you want to roll, and it'll also award you, I'm sure, Maven's orbs, which will be incredibly lucrative and sought after. So that is what you can expect from the new expansion. It looks like it's going to be a pretty interesting one as well. It's going to have Harvest, Heist, and a new league with it as well. We'll get into those in other videos. But overall, I think the actual min-maxing of this league will be the most fun. Deciding which regions are most profitable or which regions you have the most fun running. Some of the passives, just to kind of highlight them, are incredibly crazy. Like for example, this Torment one, up to 20 rare monsters. That's essentially the whole map. In in the area are possessed. So possessed monsters have tormented ghosts within them, and they increase the loot from that monster by 1,000% increased item quantity. That's 10 times loot from rare monsters, essentially, just from this one modifier on the Ascendancy Tree. In addition to that, it also applies those tormented spirits effects to minions around it, so it increases the item quantity of them as well. So absolutely crazy, but it doesn't stop there. A lot of these talent trees increase the chance that you're going to encounter these leagues naturally. So Breach, for example, the small nodes, which you'll be able to see on the trees, we'll just bring it up here. These small nodes actually just straight up give you a 3% additional chance to spawn a breach in that Atlas area. So incredibly powerful and incredibly exciting. Once we have access to all of the different area talent trees, we're absolutely going to go through and min-max them and decide where you want to spend those 10 Atlas Ascendancy points once you have it all unlocked. And that'll be extremely fun, I think, to kind of try to figure out what the most optimal way to spec each of the areas will be. Couple that with the new Watchstones and you've got a recipe for an absolutely crazy league indeed. If you enjoy bossing, you've got something there with the new boss arena and the new boss himself. And if you like mapping, you have an absolute smorgasbord of content to get into. And of course, if you like any league specifically, you can look forward to that league, but you can also look forward to an enhanced version of that league with the new Ascendancy points. So absolutely not an expansion you want to miss. Make sure you stay tuned to the channel for tons more content regarding the new expansion, league, and everything to go with it. So with all that said, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Cheers.